I'm Natalie.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Hannah. Welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, we are joined by special guests from the Hyperion Adventures Podcast. Tom and Michelle host a weekly podcast that centers around all things Disney, from coast to coast to cruise ships and beyond. So lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us.
You know, it do be that way. It do be that way.
Rude, really. Rude that they would not give us those medals.
You know, maybe they soft launch them at Disneyland weekend because we're recording before I have even departed for Disneyland weekend. So in my perspective, races haven't happened. In your perspective, they're over. So that's a little timey-wimey flip-flop.
So we might eat our words, but, you know. We didn't eat our words last week because you know what? We got those shirt colors right.
Yeah, we did. Between the two of us, we were on
We nailed
par.
it. Mm-hmm. We crushed it. Very proud of us.
Me too, actually.
Mm-hmm. We don't have really much of a training update because, aforementioned, we're recording quite early. But is there anything you wanted to tell the listeners on that front?
I've added a new set of shoes to the shoe log.
Ooh.
Not my marathon shoes. This is a pair I bought for Black Friday last year, and I'm trying to be better about like circulating things in. But as I was packing, I realized that it's like, okay, if you're going to put two sets of shoes aside, like I'm looking at how many shoes I have left, and I'm looking at which ones are kind of beaters now. Like, oh, it's time for me to not let them sit in the museum. Not that they were sitting in a museum, but like they're really pretty. They kind of remind me of cotton candy colors. And with all the dirt from construction in my neighborhood, I was a little hesitant to break them out for a while. But again, they don't live in a museum and they're pretty.
Have you ever watched Good Mythical Morning? I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Okay. When you said they look like cotton candy, I started to think about Cotton Candy Randy.
Wow, that's been out of our rotation for a while. We'll have to watch a little bit more of that.
We watch it very frequently in our household.
Yeah, we whenever there's like a good food battle, we're in it, but
Oh, yeah. The food ones are the best ones, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when they go on, like, I don't really care so much about the, like, should we bring this toy back or should we, like, those silly ones. I do kind of like the imposter ones sometimes. But mostly I'm in it for the food.
Yes. Like, can we like the blind taste tests of all the different chicken sandwiches? Love that.
Mm-hmm. They've recently been revisiting old food, like blind taste tests that they've done. So, like, you know, when they did chicken sandwiches, I don't know, 8 years ago or something, they just redid that and they were like, are we as good as we used to be?
Ooh.
And they like splice the old clips in so you can be like, oh, they've gotten worse or they've gotten better or whatever. It's quite amusing. If they say the same stuff, they'll make like the same jokes, same comments, and it's so funny.
That is hilarious. It kind of reminds me of when Mammoth Club will do their, oh my God, what is it when Molly's really bad at rock, paper, scissors for it?
Oh my gosh. Winner picks
dinner. Yes. And we love those. But yeah, Mike and Molly, according to Mr. Natalie. But he's like, Molly is comically bad at this.
We should petition Alan to change his name to Mike.
True. But then we're the MMM club.
Yeah.
Again, we can't introduce Max yet really to Mr. Natalie. Like he's already confused enough if we don't without adding another M in. So it happens.
Mm-hmm. We do, however, have another submission to the Blister Brigade. You guys need to be more careful. I haven't thought of a name yet, so we're gonna have to do this on the spot. Normally, we have a few days before we record to like mull it over, but this one came in this afternoon before recording. So Christine reached out and she says, "Do hot glue do hot glue gun blisters count? Do they qualify for the Blister Brigade?" She's angry from making my Maleficent horns. So she's been crafting. I think this is her 4th iteration of the Maleficent horns for her
Yes.
Halloween costume. However, if you haven't seen, probably gone from her stories, but I'm sure she'll post a picture of the costume. They look pretty dang good if I do say so myself, and I told her
Amazing.
absolutely that the blister counts for the Blister Brigade because it was formed in the pursuit of Rent Disney, and crafting war wounds deserve their time too.
Exactly. I think I have a thought of one of
Okay.
the 3 fairies because Maleficent horns, and
Mhm.
they had some altercations in Sleeping Beauty when they were trying to get set up for Aurora's 16th birthday.
Okay.
So, now which one is the question? Because I feel like poor little Merryweather got the brunt of it, like, of the arguments, but I don't
Mhm.
know if I'm feeling like I don't know if I'm feeling Merryweather for the blister.
Okay. I was thinking Flora purely because Flora is the red one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
And angry blisters are red. That
That
was
is true.
my very logical train of thought.
I like it. Yeah, you don't want it to be green to be fauna. So
No, no, no. We do not wish if it turns green, Christine, please go to the doctor.
Hi, my name's Natalie, and I used to be a lifeguard. I'm here to help take you to first aid at Disney, where they can help you more than I can.
This is true. They are great at first aid.
Yes.
So, let's get into those dates. I can't count down to Halloween anymore because it's over for you
Mm.
guys. Oh my goodness.
Ah.
So we kick it off with 44 days until Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend 2025. For training, Tuesday and Thursday, you have 30 minutes if you're doing a standalone race and 30 to 45 minutes for the challenge. 5K has a 2.5 mile run, 10K has a 5 mile run. Beginner half and experienced half have 11-mile runs, and the challenge has a 3-mile walk with an 11-mile run. We have 120 we have 120 days until Marathon Weekend 2026. 30 minutes for half marathon and marathon
Woo!
training. Woo, welcome to the club. 30 to 45 for Goofy and 45 for Dopey. You heard that right. Half marathon. Your training starts now. Your first long runs for the beginner half training plan, you have 2 miles this weekend. Experienced half has 3 miles. Marathon beginner has 3 miles. Marathon experienced has 4 miles. And Goofy and Dopey both have 3. We have 142 days until Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend 2026, 170 days until Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2026, and 219 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend 2026. Your shirt deadline is quickly approaching on September 22nd, 2025, and your proof of time deadline is still way out there and on January 5th, 2026. Let's hear that Disney news, Natalie.
Well, though we didn't get our marathon medals, we did get the Brooks shoes for Disneyland.
They're freaking fabulous. And I wish I was going cuz like I also wish Brooks fit my feet better. I really want a pair literally just for like walking. I feel like I could make that work just as a
Mhm.
fun shoe, not for any exercise. But even my old Brooks, which might be because they're old, honestly, more than the fit on my foot, have been giving me foot pain, even just on like walks or going to the store. So I don't know if it's meant to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have marked myself safe for now. Um, because the new shoes that we got are Ghost 17, so the work or the weekend specific ones. There's
Mm-hmm.
two different colors. One of them's black with purple laces that are tentacles and a teal logo. The other is purple with neon yellow laces, and both of them glow in the dark.
Isn't that outstanding?
It is, and it's tempting. If I had already purchased my marathon shoes that I need to buy for Chicago, I would, but I still need to buy a pair of shoes this month. So also returning are the Minnie and Mickey Ghost Max 2s and the Run Disney Adrenaline 24s.
They're just calling to me the weekend ones, and I'm not even going to be there. They picked my favorite colors and put them
I
into a shoe.
I'm like scared for the eventual dopey ones
Yeah.
because there will not be restraint for that. Like I'm
No.
I'm gonna get them.
Brooks is doing, if they hold steady like this for all the shoes this season, assuming we get something new at every weekend, they are going to be doing so well.
Yeah, I'd be curious to try out some of their super shoes. I've heard good things about which ones are their supers, but um, I don't like change, so yeah, I'm gonna go with tried and true of what I already got going for me. Which is funny
Mhm.
because I used to exclusively run in ghosts, but I tear them up a little too fast because they're not the best fit for me. So as cute as they are, and how much I'm going to see people walking around in them, and go, oh, I wish I got them. Nar.
I'm going to have to watch some videos and practice so we can pretend we're Australian.
Perfect. Sorry to any Australian listeners. Um,
Or, also, I mean, still sorry, but like if you want to like hit us up, we could have a Zoom. You could teach us how to say it. Like,
Wait, okay. So we're gonna keep saying "nar" until we get somebody to talk about the Sydney Marathon with us.
hit us up. Hit us up.
For the sake of anybody, please hit us up for your eardrums. But in other news, we have a final extinction date set for Dino Land.
Ben
Dun, dun.
stoked.
Stoked. Well, I
Yeah.
guess what's to come is so good.
Yeah. Well, no. So he sorry, say when when it's going extinct.
Okay. So wait, who's Ben again? Is that your
My fiance. I promise we won't milk this for forever.
We'll stop milking and then they'll be married. So that no, it's funny. I felt like as soon as I got used to fiance, we got married, and then I was like, gotta change that. Gotta change that. Anyway, but the last day to experience Dino Land is on February 1st of 2026. So it'll be closed the second.
This is why Ben is stoked, because when we were there for marathon weekend last year, he thought that was going to be it.
Mhm.
But now we have a whole nother marathon weekend to experience it before it's gone. This is why he's stoked.
I was similarly stoked because I read in the announcements that the final day to see Donald, Daisy, Chip, and Dale in Dino Land is also February 1st. But the characters will relocate to another area of Disney's Animal Kingdom, details to be shared later.
Ooh.
So
They
Chipmunkosaurus,
they hear us.
they hear us. I also we get another holiday season with Chipmunkosaurus.
Mhm.
So and their little holiday antlers too. So oh my god. I'm so excited. I am
Mhm.
sad to see Dinosaur go. I feel like there's a nice amount of time to, say that goodbye though.
Mhm.
Win some, lose some. When West Restaurantosaurus closes, Harambe Market is going to get the offerings there. So Harambe Market's going to go under a refurb this winter to prepare for that. I think they're just going to flip flop. Honestly, that they're probably going to move like the offerings, like the more chickeny, hamburgery food to Harambe Market, and then we're going to get like amazing food in tropical Americas.
I was kind of just hoping they would add the items from Restaurantosaurus to the Harambe Market. I really dislike when they get rid of like good food for, you know,
Chicken nuggies.
generic, yeah, park food. And because they could just add those, also offer those, like, and not get rid of the rest of the menu. I don't think it would cause a massive, like, production, I don't know, like, preparation problem in the kitchen, but maybe it would. I don't know. I don't remember everything on their menu to consider if it would cause a problem with their fryer or whatever, or grill space, but don't get rid of the tasty chicken bowl. Rude.
Then people are gonna go find Satuli, and like we can't have that. No,
Satuli isn't
they
busy
have found it.
enough.
I was gonna say, oh, don't worry, they already have. We're not gatekeeping something that's been open for 8 years. Um, but more on Animal Kingdom related news. There was a little bit of new concept art shared for Tropical Americas. Looks pretty cool. Very excited to see, and then it will open in 2027. And Cali River Rapids is going to begin its seasonal refurbishment on October 6th and is scheduled to reopen in December.
Which is cool because it was closed last year when we were
Yes.
there. And it's one of Ben's favorite rides.
Yes. I think that this was done with the intent of, because Dino Land, go extinct, if it did its normal refurbishment, you would just have fewer things to do.
Yeah.
But
It's already a short list, in my opinion.
yeah, true. So it's kind of nice. The little bit of a bummer because one of my mom's dogs is named Cali River Rapids, and Cali River Rapids will already be closed by the time we're down there for Wine and Dine. So
Yeah.
shucks, but it'll reopen. So we'll be rocking and rolling, and I can't wait to see the first, and I mean this with love, Dumb Ding Dong, who goes on Cali River Rapids during the full. Like, love that for you, but also like,
No thanks.
yeah, the squelchy shoes. Like, I don't know, maybe they take their, oh god, take your shoes off in the middle of, oh god,
Maybe they
just,
put their feet into like bags or something, over the
yeah,
shoes.
maybe. I'm gonna need some sort of clarification on this. I kind of want to know, but I also kind of don't. So, because then I'll think about it, and I'm not ready to shenanigans that hard yet. But also, if it's hot, banishing thoughts, banishing thoughts. Okay, something that occurs before marathon weekend is the holidays. So we got a holiday merch preview for what's going to be available on Shop Disney. Something I was
Can't
very,
believe they already broke out Christmas merch.
at this point, I just expect it. How early they bring out stuff is the nightmare before Christmas. And it's an accepting phase at this point.
You have something to get you excited about, though, in that holiday merch, don't you?
Everyone, stay calm. We have a Muppet Christmas Carol ornament. So, Greg, we didn't do the virtuals, but we Muppet.
You can
And have a
buy what
Christmas
you
Carol.
truly wanted.
Yes.
And it'll be cheaper in the end.
That is true.
Not often you could say that about Disney.
No, rarely actually. I hope that caught the audio. That was such. Sushi is now moving Hannah's microphone, so she really wants her voice heard. But
Sushi wants to be the newest Stride sister.
yes. Oh my god. She's so cute. She's ready for her close up.
Come on, lay down. We're ready to continue.
Okay. Lilo and Stitch live action is now streaming on Disney Plus. So if you didn't see it in the theaters and you were waiting to, like Mr. Natalie, now is your time. Now is the best time. And then something else that was announced last week, but we didn't really get to it. But is that Disneyland early entry benefit for on-site guests is going to end on the 5th of January, 2026. Instead, on-site guests will get one free lightning lane per stay for each person in your room. Disneyland didn't always really have this kind of a benefit. I remember pre-COVID that I think it was the early morning entry was somewhat few and far between for on-site guests. So I want to say it was like a couple days a week, if I remember correctly. And so I wasn't super surprised to see this. She buried. I wasn't super surprised to see this go, to be honest. I know it's a little bit controversial of like, oh, why couldn't it be like one free lightning lane a day? Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But
Yeah, fundamentally, I don't like it because I don't like them setting some kind of precedent for maybe coming for early entry at Disney World, but I don't have too strong of feelings. Although I do know it is one of the things people who stay at on property hotels at Disneyland, at least from the ones I've heard from, appreciate, although apparently not based on the data if they're feeling like they're comfortable taking it away.
yeah, because it was cited as low use. So I don't know. I am curious. I think just the function of Disneyland is so different from Walt Disney World with like the bubble and like two different types of bubbles. Um, that it's not. It doesn't really surprise. I don't worry about it at Walt Disney World because I think people will riot.
We're good at letting them know what we think.
Yes. Hashtag Ohana Noodlegate. Um, Time for a fun fact or two. Um, on this day in 1973, the General Electric Carousel of Progress closes at Disneyland, and it is later moved to Walt Disney World. It was replaced by America Sings in 1974 at Disneyland. So
Cuckoo.
guess 3 weeks in a row of bringing up the Carousel of Progress. How low can you go? On September 9th in 2004, in a letter dated September 9th, Michael Eisner announces that he will retire from the Walt Disney Company at the end of his contract 2 years after. End of an era, truly.
Yeah. I would be more sad if I didn't have a kitty in my lap. Sorry.
That is true. There is floof and such over there. And those are happy things and positive things, much like our interview today. Oh, we are thrilled to welcome today Tom and Michelle of the Hyperion Adventures Podcast.
Woo! So good to be here.
Yeah, happy to be joining you
Thanks
all.
for inviting us.
Oh,
We're so happy to have you.
This is great at long last.
Just like the random meetup we had in the
Right.
park a couple months ago. Yeah.
I know. It's funny because all those times we actually tried to plan something, kept missing each other, and then outside Spaceship Earth, I hear it, Natalie.
So hard to believe. So random could happen.
But
That was
perfect.
The magic
Disney
of the
magic.
Muppets.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
That's what it was. That was that. The Muppets brought us together as they always have.
Tear. I went to watch a YouTube video that was a 4K recording of Muppet Vision and the Muppet Courtyard yesterday, and I realized I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready.
I'm not ready. We haven't
Yeah.
been there since. We haven't seen the
No.
wall yet. I'm not ready to see the
Yeah.
wall. No.
I've
I could-
only seen the wall in like YouTube videos, weekly news.
I was in Hollywood Studios that Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday, and I couldn't walk myself back there. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when we are next going back, but I'm hoping we don't get to that side of the park until whatever's there when they get the Monsters Inc. thing
Yeah.
completed, because at least, the remnants will somewhat be gone, but we'll see.
You know, sci-fi. It's not you. It's me. If I don't end up back there, back lot, it's not you. It's me. I just can't
Right.
do it.
I guess we're going through Toy Story Land to get all the way to Galaxy's
Yeah,
Edge.
I was thinking that too. The other entrance.
Be shielding my eyes when I get a wine and dine half bib, actually, or I'll be taking like a very sad like.
Yeah.
Down.
But that's okay. That's okay. Maybe we'll see how I actually react. But
Yeah.
let's let our listeners get to know a little bit about you guys and your Disney story.
Ooh. Yes. So, what do you want to know? Where do we start?
Yeah,
Well,
where
our
do you wanna
Disney story
start?
goes back many, many years,
Yes.
including I grew up at Southern California going to Disneyland. Michelle, where did you start?
I started at Walt Disney World. I didn't go to Disney California or Disneyland in California until I was an adult. And so it was, going through that culture shock, but then learning to appreciate what it really was, what it really represented, and loving it.
Yeah, we met and brought together our bi-coastal Disney families, and the rest is kind of history, I guess.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I'm like you, Michelle, where I didn't go to Disneyland until I was an adult.
See? Yeah.
My
I
first
still haven't been to Disneyland.
Ooh, well,
And my family lived in California for like 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
I'll put it on the list. You got to
Yeah.
get there at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
We'll-
get to
we'll
Walt
be your
Disney
tour
World.
guides.
I didn't get to Walt Disney World till I was an adult, and Michelle brought me out to Florida to experience it for the
Right.
first time. So, yeah, I went through it the other way, but just so happy we've gotten to experience both sides of Disney, along with, of course, the movies, and then that brought along Disney Cruise, eventually Run Disney,
Broadway.
Disney Vacation Club, Disney. It's everything. D23.
We're all in
It's all
at this
of it.
point.
I love to hear that. Out of curiosity, I feel like I don't talk to as many people who do the side of Disneyland first and then Walt Disney World. I feel like there's more people who I know who go Walt Disney World to Disneyland. So, Tom, I'm a little curious. What was the biggest shock or surprise about going to Walt Disney World for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the immense size of it more than anything else. The Disney bubble as well, because you don't really get that. I mean, once you're in the park area, you get that at Disneyland, but I mean, you just take 2 steps off and you're in the middle of Anaheim,
Mhm.
It's a little different there. Whereas you're in that bubble out at Walt Disney World, but then also like Disneyland, like you can knock everything out in a couple of days. You do only a couple of days at Walt Disney World. You can do a week, 2 weeks at Walt Disney World, and you may still be leaving some things on the table. So the differences are there. They're very similar in some regards, but also extremely different in many ways.
One of the things, I think we've learned from sharing our experiences of doing the different parts like that is it really helps to have some either research into it or some advice or some feedback from some people before doing it, because otherwise there is that tendency to maybe be disappointed in what your expectations were or how to approach something and then feel like, oh, that didn't work out the way I thought it would. So I think having some research behind you if you're going to switch a park out for the first time is very helpful.
You guys have gone to Paris, correct?
We have a couple of times. Been a while, but we have been there. Yeah.
I might have to pick your brain about that a little bit later. Wink.
Don't know. Like I said, it's been since 2016. It has been a while since we've been there, and some things have
changed.
changed, and there's some new things opening soon. But yeah, we do love Disneyland Paris for what it is. That's for sure.
So have you done any of the Asia parks yet? Or
No.
Okay, so you're 3 for 6, which is a pretty good rate.
We're batting 500. It's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm a White Sox fan. We've exceeded the number of wins that we got last year at this point in the season. So basically, we're on a winning streak.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're basically
Yeah.
bring on Bama. Like we're good.
Hey, we're Padre fans, so up until recently, we've been in that boat of take what you can get and just be happy about it. More recently, we've been in good spaces, but we know that space that the Sox are in for sure.
Not last. In their division, yes, but the Rockies are still worse. So
There you go.
that's
Take those wins where you can get
Yeah.
them. Literally.
So along the Run Disney side of things, how did that enter your lives?
You want to start this, Michelle?
No,
You
I'll
want me
let
to-
you start.
Okay,
this
so
one.
we did not even really know Run Disney existed until we were heading up to Disneyland, one that happened to be a Run Disney weekend one time. And we were there trying to get into the park. And of course, there were road closures that we weren't expecting. We're going around and we're like seeing a lot of people running. And we're like, you know what? That looks pretty fun. Maybe that would be something we'd have interest in at some point. Around that same time, we were getting set to go on a Disney cruise. And we went through a pretty significant diet because I was a much heavier person. Michelle was a little bit bigger. She's tiny, but she was a little bit bigger at that point. We went through a pretty significant diet getting set for our cruise. And after doing that, I'm like, I never want to do that again. I never want to do that kind of diet again. But did get on that cruise, and instead of going to the gym, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go out on the promenade deck and try and run around it a little bit. Ran around the promenade decks. Like, this is something I can do instead to help, curb my weight and be ready to gorge myself on these cruises or whatever it might be. And then we we had that, we saw that race, let's sign up for the very next Run Disney race we can, which happened to be one of the Avengers theme, the Marvel theme races in the fall. We signed up for that 5K, simply did it. We have a heck of a story to tell about our first ever Run Disney race. But we did it and we've never looked back from there. We've done Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and just couldn't be more thrilled to be part of that Run Disney community.
So our first ever Disneyland race, we'd gotten all the information. We actually...
this is my fault, by the way, completely my fault. I'm going to take total credit for it.
We were staying at a resort that you could walk to the parks from, and so that was really convenient. And we, got ourselves ready. I don't think we were quite into bounding quite as much. We had a little bit of flair to us,
we had our Marvel stuff. I think you had your it was a Captain America 5K. Yeah. So you had your Captain America stuff on. I had my Captain America shirt on.
Right.
You were a little more decked out than I was, but yeah.
And so we got up early, which was very, for me,
not
torturous.
As early as we thought, but we should have.
And, we headed over, we started walking over there, and we noticed right away, we weren't seeing many other people walking towards the front, where the meetup would be. And we're like, that's strange. Where is everybody? And as we're getting closer, some cast members came up to us and they said, "Are you here for the run?" And I think they saw our bibs and everything. We're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, you need to hurry because they're already getting ready to start." And so they'd
already started.
Yeah, they had already started.
They were already 2 corrals in.
Yeah,
as we were arriving.
And we're like, and so they were so wonderful. They let us get into their little golf cart and they brought us to the front of where we needed to get into our corral and everything. So we were already like in our heads, like, oh my gosh, we are the last people, and we were the last people.
I think literally the last people to show up. Here's the thing: is like we had done a couple other 5Ks before that, and I just didn't look at the time well. I'm like, okay. No one starts a race at 5 a.m. It must be 6, right? It must be 6 a.m. No one starts a race at 5 a.m. So we're getting there and we're still thinking we're ahead of time. It's like, it's like 5:15, 5:30. We're good. And then, this is when the races started on that street. And I think it's Disneyland Way, I believe, the one that goes right by the hotels. And we're crossing the bridge over that. And we're seeing, because that's where they were starting it. And we're seeing them going. And we're like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. But we made it. We got through it, had a blast, even despite that concern.
Right.
And again, never looked back.
Yeah.
You just got in a dead last start before you even knew what dead last start was.
That was a thing. That was a thing. But yeah, now we've gone on to run 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. Still haven't done a challenge yet, but that we've had a blast with it for sure.
But it definitely gives you after that, you're like, okay, now I can do anything with these, because that's kind of like in your worst situation that you would think. And we made it. So.
Exactly. You say no challenge yet, but what kind of plans do you have coming up for Run Disney?
We do have a challenge booked. Well, I do have a challenge.
Tom
booked.
has a challenge.
I'm going to be running the princess. Was it the fairy tale challenge? That's going to be my first and probably only ever challenge. Although we have run 2 races on a
Right,
weekend
yeah,
before.
right.
Just it never has been the 10.5. I've run a 5. I've run a 5K and a half. I've run a 5K and a 10K, but never both.
Those are some famous last words.
Yeah. I know it. So that is the plan for that. And that's theoretically going to complete my coast to coast, because we're running the 5K in Disneyland in late January, early February. And then I'm running the half at Disneyland. So that should get me the coast to coast. And that's where I'm saying I'm drawing the line at the half. So we're going to go back to our 10Ks after
10Ks is our sweet spot, where we can have a blast and, plus a little less money and still get into all the fun of it and everything. So,
however, if they ever bring back those Disneyland Paris races and bring back that Castle to Chateau medal, that may change my plans.
Yes.
But that
you
is
and me
both of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
That, as of right now, that's not happening.
I can't wait. I really want them to bring that back.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the Walt Disney World half before that goes to the castle?
No, we've never run through we've run through the castle at Disneyland many, many times, but never at Magic Kingdom.
It might change something. I don't know.
It's pretty magical.
Yeah.
Trip down Main Street, it's just something else.
Yeah.
Which I guess you have had on
Yeah.
the West Coast. That's so exciting. I can't wait till they reveal that coast to coast medal too. I'm not saying I'm trying to Dumbo again this year, but I'm not saying it's off the table. I'm not saying it's completely off the table if I just kind of fiddle my way into a
You're going to be there. You're going to do it.
Signing up for races that she didn't plan on.
Yeah.
That idea of like cutting back was really funny at first. We will eventually, but then they just do something like a storytale theme, like story theme for marathon weekend. It's like, okay, dopey again. That's just how it happens, and then that's just how it happens. Okay,
that was us for springtime surprise. We're like, okay, we're doing Disneyland, we're doing Princess, we're not doing springtime surprise this year. And then they drop a Winnie the Pooh theme on us. We're like, all right,
have to do that.
I guess we have to do Winnie the Pooh because we love Winnie the Pooh, so we're booking that. So we're doing that now too.
That's another one where almost every person I know is like, oh, so you're not signing up for springtime? Okay, see you there. I know I probably will end up there. And this is bad because I shouldn't keep planning as if like I'm going to get that last minute bib, but there was a multitude of reasons why I didn't want to get in on it at first, just planning and scheduling wise, which I feel like I probably will be able to clear up by that point, but yeah, I'll probably see you there. Especially like the Winnie the Pooh costumes are going to be so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Just if you bound as Winnie the Pooh, be sure and wear pants.
Yes. I love that they had that right on the website.
Natalie has a really nice pair of yellow leggings. So
there you go.
It's actually something we were
talking about.
Like we were talking the same thing.
We're actually running with some other friends, so we're kind of coordinating our outfits, and I don't think either of us are going to end up as Pooh. But
so your pants disclaimer doesn't exist. I don't think Tigger wears pants either.
That's just a good point.
Right.
Does Tigger wear any?
You're just Donald Duck. So whatever.
Right.
True. They call it Donald Duck in it for a reason. No, I can't wait. I can't wait, especially I'm sure people are really going to go into like the Mr. Toad to Winnie the Pooh like motif. Like the handover of the deed. I can't wait till I see that costume and someone more creative than me.
The creativity is amazing in these races.
Oh yeah. Because you guys are you guys a little bit more costume, more of the bound side, which I feel like they're both costumes, but I'm kind of curious your costume philosophy.
I think we tend to bound a little more bound
because we want to be able to
and
be comfortable with me. Running in Florida, and also when you bound, you can depending on the temperature, you can, add a little, subtract a little as necessary. Just, have that base there.
Right.
So that's kind of us. I mean, we did run Princess in 2023, 2024, whatever it was. And I had a full on beast coat and everything, and I did run the Star Wars 5K in full Jedi robe. So I have done that, but more bounding than anything else.
I am also more of a bounder the further the distance goes. I am a big fan of my running shorts wearing a fun skirt over the top, and then coordinating shirt thing.
Yep.
But we have done some fun things we dressed up as what are their names for Princess last year together? They're the female girlfriend mice of Gus and
Susie and Perla.
That's their names.
Nice.
We had bandanas, we had aprons, the full shebang.
Love it.
Yeah, those are a good one. And there's so many good small shops out there too that'll create those accessories. But I now have to think of a costume for Disneyland because it wasn't on my I need to think of something, especially knowing the heat of it. Or the anticipated. I'm assuming it's just going to be 100 degrees, and then if it's any lower, I'll just be happy. It'll be great,
right? Yeah.
Disneyland or Southern California in October, that tends to be its hottest month.
Yeah.
So
it's a dry heat,
but it is a dry heat. It is a drier heat. That's for sure than here in Florida.
Yes. I know I want to bring my Steamboat Willie costume back, but that involves extra layers, which is not the move. Right? To wear the shorts over that's extra layers, not the move for this time. Right. But that Dumbo bib I'm probably not going to get, but I probably am trying to get. Not like I'm planning or anything. So we have no experience with Disney Cruise Line.
Other than the online training that Disney Travel gives you.
Which is good.
You should get some of that. You should get some of that Disney Cruise Line experience because
it's amazing.
It's another one of those things that, I'll say this. Disney cruising in general is not for everybody. Not everybody loves it, but everybody should try it, especially Disney cruising, because it's just one of those things that once you do it, it's just like Run Disney. It can be very expensive. It can become a very fun habit though, and that you really, really enjoy.
And one of the great things is they have the shorter cruises, right? Like the 3-day cruises where, you're tipping your toe into that pool of trying out the cruise without really feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck on this floating hotel for a week or more. So that's a great way to start it. And you still get to really experience all of the things that make it so amazing. And like Tom said, we've done other cruises. There's nothing like a Disney cruise, though. It really is a world apart.
It's just one of the things, you're walking down the hall, you turn the corner and there's Tinkerbell. Where does that happen?
Right.
It's a Disney cruise. It's one of the few places where you can actually find that happening, and music playing in the hallways and amazing shows, all the customer service you expect for Disney, but at sea, and time to relax, time to have fun. You can do as much or as little as you want. It's really great. I really suggest it.
Just the things that they've put into that experience for guests, one, like Tom said, the shows. They have all the storytelling, and they, although they're using the same, let's say, IP, they do different things to make it fresh. So it's not like you're just rewatching a film, but on a Broadway stage. They enhance the stories to give a little more depth to the characters as well. They know how to pull at your heartstrings. There is never a Disney cruise that you don't get choked up or cry or just feel that nostalgia that you love. And that how they do the dining, the rotational dining. So you have theme dining, you have the same cast members or servers throughout your entire stay. So they get to know you, get to know your preferences. They engage with you. It really makes it so much more special.
You recently got off of a Disney cruise as well, correct?
Right. It was a very, unique and special one. It was the DVC member cruise. So that one,
Ooh.
it's very different. They pull out everything for that to make it more unique. The shows are bigger and better. They have a lot more guests on for panel discussions, and the food offerings in the dining room. They have some specialty things just for that cruise. So it is a little bit different. It is like a Disney cruise on steroids.
You walk away with basically, they'll tell you this, and this was our first Disney Vacation Club member cruise. They'll tell you this going in. It's like, bring another suitcase because you get so many gifts on board. And we can verify that that is actually true. Like, they just load you with all these things. So you get these gifts in the morning, you get gifts in the evening, you walk away with certain other things through it. All these Disney celebrities on board. It's a pretty incredible. It's not like any other cruise, that's for sure. I mean, your regular Disney cruise is fantastic, but this cruise was something really, really unique and fascinating.
Right. It's amazing to see, like Tom mentioned, celebrities just going around the ship with everybody. I mean, you know, we were by the pool and talking to somebody. You know, you go to one of the lounges, you're talking to somebody else, or at a show and you're leaving and you run into some of these celebrities. It's just amazing. You can talk to them, you know.
We're watching them do Beauty and the Beast on stage there, and there is Susan Egan in the crowd who played the first Belle on Broadway. She's there. We're in watching the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie with Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden, and talking up there. And there's Ron Clements, Disney legend Ron Clements, the director of many of the films you love, including A Little Mermaid and Princess and the Frog and Moana. They're watching that. And then we're going to see Ron Clements speak, and you know, there's more people there in the crowd. It's just, it's incredible that these people are mingling. Ron Clements was everywhere on the ship.
Yeah. Your close personal friend.
He's pretty much now. Pretty much. No, he was like, we were on the ship and we're like, he's out there at the 80s, 90s dance party with neon on, getting his groove on in the middle of it. It was just so fun. It was a blast. It was really a kick.
Yeah. That is very different, though, than most Disney cruises. If you do some of their specialty cruises, whether it's like a themed cruise or their transatlantic, for example, then they bring on some celebrities for that as well. But even without celebrities, a Disney cruise is the best.
Yeah, highly recommend it. Try it. Try it sometime.
I'm still working on my boyfriend. I like cruising. I've only ever cruised with Royal Caribbean, but I really enjoy it. And so I'm just slowly nudging.
Mr. Natalie's all in.
Nice.
We just need to find a time to do it, because what we want to do is we want to stack and do, just make a trial Caribbean cruise, couple nights, make sure nobody gets sick on board. We have no reason to think either of us would, but just in case, and then book a placeholder of like a nice like Mediterranean one or Mediterranean cruise that's longer. So we're trying to get that stack going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Planning 1 and 2.
Right.
Book the Walt Disney World trip, tack on the cruise, just do the Bahamas where you're doing the usual, the 3-4 night, and doing Nassau, stopping at either Lookout Key or Castaway Key or both, which are amazing days. Either Nassau is whatever, but either of those two, and get the sampling of it and find out if it's something you want to enjoy more. Yeah.
Have you guys been on all of the ships so far?
All except the newest one,
Treasure,
which is the Treasure. Right.
That's what I thought.
One, yeah, that one we haven't. And actually, we don't have anything booked for that. We do have for the next ship that launches in later this year, the Destiny.
Not the Adventure, because we're not going to
we're probably not
Singapore,
going to Singapore
yet. But we do have a ship, a cruise aboard the Destiny booked for almost a year from now.
It'll
Destiny's still being built in Germany, correct?
It's
not quite done.
Right. It just got into water. So it just set. Yeah.
They just floated it out last week and they're going through their trials.
Yeah.
It sails really in November.
Right.
That's exciting. One of our college acquaintances, I guess, he works for Disney and he worked on that ship. So
nice.
They have a connection.
I would like to pick his brain sometime. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think he even knows that we do this podcast. So
What a way to find out.
By
Would you like to
the
talk
way,
about-
we do this show. You want to be a guest? That'd be great.
especially once it launches, things aren't behind that wall of secrecy. I mean, some
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
always will be,
Mhm.
but that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, Disney Cruise does have the 5K on Castaway Key.
Have you done that?
They used to do it was organized. Now
Mhm.
it's a self. You run it yourself, and then you claim your medal.
We've sort of done it, but not really done it. It used to be very organized where they would you would kind of book it. Like, okay, you're
Mhm.
going to you're telling them you're going to do this. They would get you all together and you would be the first people off the ship. And then you'd go all run it together. Now it's like Michelle was just saying, it's a little more disorganized. At that point, when we were doing it, we were trying to pull into Castaway Key, and the ship kept trying, and unfortunately it couldn't get in. So they're like, you know what? We're still going to run it. You're running it on board the ship. So we ran around the promenade deck like 8 times or whatever it was and got our medal. Not the same. We have tried to go back a couple times and do it, but it's either been too hot and ridiculous, or like this last cruise, we were so exhausted from running from panel to panel to panel that we just wanted, one, it was too hot. Two, we just wanted to just relax on the
Right.
beach. And then we were going to do it in January, but unfortunately, Michelle came down with a wicked migraine that day. So
Oh.
we kind of canceled out on that. So we still want to
And then
actually
we
do
both
it.
got sick after that.
Yeah, we still want to do it actually on the island. We just haven't had the chance yet. What I'd love to see, they don't do it at Lookout Key yet. I would love to see them couple it up. Like if you have any cruise that's going to both of them,
Mhm.
have one at Lookout Key, run it at Castaway Key, and then have another, we're always looking for more medals.
Island topping medal.
Yep. I'd love to see them do that, but they don't have one at Lookout Key yet.
The one thing that was really funny about the one that we did on the promenade deck with everybody else who was running it was it, in some ways it was really special because other cruise guests were watching and cheering you on as you went around. So it kind of made it a little bit even more exciting because if you would normally do it on the island, you wouldn't have that, So we had cheering squads all entire ship. So it was so fun.
It was also a little more exciting because, as I mentioned, we weren't able to pull into Castaway Key. The seas were a
Yes.
little rocky that day. So we're running around deck doing the swerve back and forth as we're running around deck because the ship's bobbing around.
I know, your foot goes to land. And it's like, oh, wait, I'm going lower because the ship's dipping.
It was a 10K, 5K just because we're running diagonally across the deck all the time.
That's a PR. That's what I'm hearing.
There
Right?
it is.
It's interesting to be part of like almost, I call it like Run Disney legend or lore, when you have those weird situations
Mhm.
that happen. The half of a half in 2024 is one of them, where they knew weather was coming in. They cut it down to 7.1 miles. Again, a PR. And because you don't run many of those,
Right.
or just those shortened races. And, you just got to make the best of it. And, most people I knew did run after or before or after. I made sure I made up my miles to make it the 13.1 because I was doing the Goofy challenge. So I was like, well, like I gotta get it in. But it was just the different camaraderie of like, this is a weird situation to
Mhm.
be in and not what we were expecting when we signed up, but we're going to make the most of it and do what we
Yeah.
can.
That's what
for
you do
sure.
with
Yeah.
Run Disney. That's what you do. You make the best of it. And
Mhm.
when you get those, the things are always going to happen. You're in Florida. You're running in Florida, as we always say here. Florida's going to Florida. That's just particularly about the weather. You never know what to expect. So
Yeah.
you make the best of it.
My nephew was signed up a couple years back for the Disney half marathon, and they had weather come in that day that they canceled it and said, but you can run the marathon. And he did. And he was like, oh, wow, I can do a marathon. So that's kind of gotten him much more engaged in doing longer runs.
And he's running Dopey this year, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, what a step.
Yeah, right. And it wouldn't have happened, I don't think, if it hadn't been for that experience where he was kind of forced into doing a full marathon.
That is so interesting. The more I hear, I think that was 2017. So it was before I had started doing Run Disney myself, of just, well, I guess I'll try. And if I make it to 13.1, that's anything after is gravy. Because there's a lot of people I know who were in that boat and they were shocked. They finished the marathon. They're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, right.
But that's awesome. Oh, and then the transition up to Dopey.
Yeah.
We never thought we'd even run a half marathon.
Right.
And then they came out with something in 2018 that was the Kessel Run Challenge, where you could do the virtual half and do the Star Wars Dark Side half. And you got this Millennium Falcon medal.
Sweet.
And well, we that was it. We're like, okay, first I booked it. Then Michelle, the reason why raced the 5K and the half for that weekend was because originally Michelle was like, I don't know if I could do it. She'd never run anything over a 5K at that point. She booked the 5K and then she's like, you know what? That medal's pretty sweet. I want to do that as well. So she was still able to get the half marathon. So we did that as well. But yeah, we have that Millennium Falcon medal, which is one of our favorites.
I mean, that was a decision, like 3 months before the actual thing that I actually
and you ramped up from never running anything more than a 5K up to running a half.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Run Disney really just brings out, I feel like, the best in people. Like, well, like I do have the time to do that. Like I'm gonna try. Try anything.
Brings out the best in us and the worst of our bank accounts. That's for sure.
That is for sure, to say the least.
Heck, I had to start a side business so I could keep up with this hobby.
Yeah.
By the way, congratulations on your side business. That's really cool. I love the idea of those the temporary tattoos for running,
that's
right? That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been very exciting, and I've been shocked at the support from everyone.
Nice.
Natalie was customer number 1. She's very proud of it.
Yay.
I love the concept. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
And
It's great.
Fantastic. So yeah, congratulations.
Definitely
Hopefully
needed, yes.
nothing but success for you. I'm sure it'll be big.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. Yeah.
It was basically the lizard gif. Just pressing refresh. Lizard. Waiting for it to go live. Lizard.
You and Tori. Tori was waiting too, I think.
Yes. It was great. I'm like, I want to be number 1. When I saw went that 1, I'm like, yes.
So when you put that dollar up on the wall for the business, that's Natalie's dollar.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tape it to the Cricut.
Ceremonial picture of my mailing address that you already have.
Perfect.
Exactly. So on the subject of kind of positivity and looking at things in a bright light, you guys are the Disney podcast of positivity. Every time I'm listening, it's like I expect that, and within the intro, we are the pod. I'm like, yes, I'm here for a good positive time. Especially, I had a rough long run the day before we recorded this, and I listened to you guys for most of it, and I was like, okay, at least I could keep a little bit of positivity in the air, which was wonderful. So I guess tell us a little bit about Hyperion Adventures for anybody who doesn't know you, which you guys already should, but that's okay because that's what we're here to do, is introduce them.
Well, I'll first talk about the positivity aspect that, we decided early on that there's a lot of stuff that goes on in life, a lot of crap, a lot of things that really can bring you down. And we're not ever saying that, even with Disney, that everything is perfect, that there are some things that, let's say we would change. But we decided that, focusing on what brings joy can not only help us, but help others, then experience it in a more positive way, a more fun way, and gets the joy that we get out of it. And I think that's where that positivity focus comes on. We don't want people to think we never have anything negative in our brains about Disney or anything, but for us to take the time and the focus, because it's so easy to get trapped and go down the rabbit hole of what you don't like about something. And so this helps force us also to really realize the things that are wonderful about it.
Yeah, I mean, you go through just scroll social media. It's negative. There's so much negativity in this world. Watching the news, watching anything, going through life, going through your workday, whatever it is. Well, we decided early on during the show is that we want to be that oasis that give you an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours of space where you can just kind of break away with that and just get some positive energy your way and not have to deal with the negative vibes that are around you. And yes, like Michelle said, we are well-rounded people. We do not, it's not like we are just all, smiles and giggles all the time. We have things going on in our lives, but that's not what this podcast is about. We like to share what we think is great, what's amazing, what's wonderful in the world, share our adventures, share our guests and our listeners' adventures as well, and celebrate what's amazing and going on in everybody's lives. And that's just kind of what we try to accomplish with this show. And hopefully we've been at least a little bit successful with that so far.
And I think it's what keeps us going as well, because if you're always, when we sit down there in front of the mic, we know we're going to be talking things that we love and that we like to experience. It makes doing that every week such a fun thing for us.
That is our little date every week.
Mhm.
It's like every week we have this time set aside that we know we spend a lot of time together, but this is that one thing where we know we're going to get together for that allotted amount of time and just talk Disney. And then, of course, planning ahead of it and everything else. But this is that period where we know we're going to have some good quality time together, talking about something that we love in a very positive and fun way.
I love that. That's definitely something I look forward to every single week when we record as well, is getting to see Natalie's face and know that we're going to talk about we talk about the good and the bad and the ugly and everything with Run Disney, but just getting to know that every single week I'm going to have a time to sit down and talk to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice.
Nice.
And as we say it a lot, when we first decided to start this podcast 7+ years ago, like one thing we never saw coming was the friendships, including, you two right here, that we've made through this show. Like that was not part of it. We just,
didn't
thought
even think about it.
Well, for one thing, Michelle thought I was insane when I suggested this to begin with.
Totally.
But we, once she caught on and she's like, yeah, this is great. We had a lot of fun with it. But then all these friends we've made, some of our best friends we have now are thanks to this show and connections we've made through it. Some people that we've never met up until recently. We had not met Natalie at all. What we considered her our friend. Hannah, now, we have not met you in person, but we consider you our friend. We've just made some amazing connections, all thanks to doing this silly little podcast.
Exactly.
I wouldn't say it's silly.
Oh, thanks.
We have made, I think that's something that has surprised me about not just the podcast, but about life as an adult. Once you get out of when you're growing up and you're in school and you have all these sort of built-in frameworks for making friends and making connections and stuff, and as an adult you kind of get tossed to the wind of figure it out. No one really teaches you how to do that. I guess you kind of if you were into sports, maybe you go find something like that as an adult. And I guess we kind of did that with running, even though I hated running back then. But us just deciding to do it, which Natalie probably thought was nuts in the midst of her wedding planning, but just deciding to get out there and do it and try new things. People are so nice and everyone's looking for that connection and that friendship and that warmth that we get from this. And yeah, Natalie and I have a group chat with some other Run Disney girlies that we talk to way more. I talk to them more than I talk to my parents, more than I talk to people that I actually see every day at my office.
Nice.
It's really nice.
Mr. Natalie will sometimes go, is that going in the group chat when he says something a little out of pocket?
Ben asks that about, and I take pictures of him. He's like, who's seeing that? And I'm like, don't worry.
It's
no
just
one.
the chat.
It's not.
Don't worry. It's fine. I love that. I love the oasis. I love just every time on a Sunday when we grab when I have the download notification, I'm like, I'm going to have a nice good hour of just happy and fun and just different things that stick with me. And I think you guys have really succeeded in having a lot of really cool interviews. I tell everybody who will listen if they have enjoyed the Once Upon a Studio short to go listen to that episode of yours, because everyone who will listen, and even if you don't want to listen, I will tell you, I'll still say, if you are remotely interested in that, that is an interview that has stuck with me too. And it's crazy to have some of these experiences of just like, who would have thought you ever would be talking to somebody who made a cartoon to celebrate 100 years of Disney? It's amazing.
It amazes us still.
That was an insane period. It was about, what was it? So it was 2 years ago from like this month that we went through this insane period of seeing Once Upon a Studio before it was released at most everywhere else at Destination D23, and then reaching out and connecting with the creators, having them on the show for an incredible interview where they were so passionate and amazing and willing to talk about their short and some other things that they've worked on as well. And then capping it off with a visit where they invited us to visit the animation building out at the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. It was just, it still boggles my mind how that all happened.
True. Yeah.
Chills.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's so incredible.
And we have a big interview coming up this week, not for this week's episode, but next week. That when this airs, it'll probably already be out, I think. But big name who just has a great story within the company and is doing great things, including a show that has just been released recently on Disney Plus. We couldn't be more excited about this interview we have coming up here.
I know. Yeah. I think the other highlight was on the recent Disney cruise and talking to one of the celebrities that they had on board. And just having a conversation with him, mentioned the podcast, and he says, "Oh, I know who you all are."
That person may be coming on the show soon too.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, that was a surreal moment."
When you think you're talking to a celebrity and they think they are too.
Nah, I think he knew the balance of the scales there, but still, the fact that he was aware of us.
Oh, I can't wait to say. I would ask, but I want to actually play the guessing game of like which one I think it is. So like I'm gonna keep that up in my noodle, and I'll message you when it comes out.
All right.
if I guess correctly. That is amazing, and I still fully believe that someday Lynn will acknowledge. Lynn, the year of Lynn is not over in my head. Okay.
It's never technically over with us, but we had some fun with that, even though we didn't get exactly what we were hoping for.
But
we did have some fun and some interesting content that came out of that for sure. Yeah.
Although I must confess, I only watched Hamilton for the first time in the last couple of weeks.
And what did you think?
Oh, I loved it.
Right?
And the reason I delayed was because there was so much hype around it. I was like, I don't want to unfairly judge it if it's like, I was like, I want to be more objective. So I needed to put it down until I was ready to pick it up. It's like, and it helps that right now there's a lot of Hamilton in the like social zeitgeist because of all the memes,
the anniversary,
all the memes, the anniversary, all of that. So it kind of helped them like, okay, it's time to pick it up. But I was like, I don't want to unfairly judge it because it's so popular. And I figured that if it almost swept the Tonys, I figured that if it had this notoriety, that it was going to be good. But I really wanted to give it like its full chance. And it's like rent free in my brain now, where I'm like, I need to now like watch it again. And like, I get it. And I knew I would get it. But at the same time, I stayed quote unquote spoiler free because I did well in history in school. So like, I kind of knew what happened. They opened the show with, the bird says he shoots him. So like, but so good.
We're gonna get canceled because I watched Hamilton. I watched Hamilton for the first time a long time ago, but the very first time I watched it, I did not like it because I couldn't understand what they were saying. The rapping was so fast. I was like, I need subtitles. I need to watch this again. I need to read all the lyrics first because I'm having such a hard time trying to enjoy it because I can't comprehend it fast enough. I'm not fast enough for that. But then I did watch it again after I had gone and done my what I would call research, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm so glad that we were listening to the soundtrack before we actually ever saw it. And we saw it first live because part of the reason why we got the soundtrack is it was coming to San Diego. We had usual annual passes to any of the touring companies that would come through San Diego for a variety of different musicals and plays. And we knew Hamilton was coming. We were very excited about it. And I'm like, okay, well, we've heard great things. We've seen it on the Tonys. We've seen it at the Grammys, some portions of it. Let's listen to this thing. And started listening to it and fell in love with it. But yeah, I could see if you hadn't had that where you could struggle at first. Now it's basically, I don't think I've run a Run Disney race since 2016 where I haven't had several Hamilton songs in my playlist.
Yeah. And actually, I only listened to the Act 1 soundtrack, but I listened to it multiple times. And so I understand what you're saying, Hannah, because the Act 2, I wasn't familiar with the song. So I had to be a lot more focused on it. And I had more questions after the play to ask Tom, like, what was that? What did they talk about?
She knew I'd listen to Act 2 because I'd be sitting there. It was like my Saturday thing. I'd be sitting in the living room listening to Hamilton, and I'd be just openly weeping through the second act of that, near the end of the second act. And she'd be like, okay.
Which made me not want to listen.
There he is, ugly crying again to the second act of Hamilton. Nice. That's my husband.
Right.
It's like they engineered it to be Easter eggs, though, because if you don't like pre-listen, then you're going to have to watch it over and over again. And it's kind of like going on a ride at Disney where every single time, because you remember more,
True.
It's in there, you see something new.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I was listening to it regularly on Run Disney runs, training runs, and I would come back from my runs and I'd be like, I picked this out of it. I can't believe I've listened to this 1,000 times. How did I not hear this within this? It's an incredibly layered soundtrack for sure.
Oh, the different motifs that come back too. Man, it's so loaded and interesting and intricate, and it's genius where I just mind blown. Life changed like a week ago. A couple weeks by the time you guys are hearing this, but I fully get it. And I'm kind of glad that I stayed away from it. And it's funny how many memes also came from Hamilton. I didn't realize like the what I'd miss. I've used that GIF before, but I didn't realize that was supposed to be Thomas Jefferson talking about coming back from France. But it's really it's so good. Genius, actually.
It is.
It really
That's
is.
a good term
it really
for it.
is.
All right, we have some rapid fired questions to kind of roll through the end of this. But say a genie grants you an unlimited amount of DVC points that you can use on a vacation. What's your itinerary? And I'm going to say that you have some time. Like, let's say you got a couple weeks. So what are we doing?
Why don't you start?
What are we doing? Well, if money's no object and there is a genie involved, Victoria and Albert would be really nice to be able to try out. We have never been able to get reservations there. The other thing that would be fun to do, they used to allow it at Walt Disney World. They don't anymore, but you could ride in the front of the monorail with the driver. That would be cool to be able to do that again. What do you think, honey?
All right. So a couple years ago, we had made a last minute reservation for, where were we staying? I think it was the Riviera. We were there to go do something.
Yeah, we were going to do
it was
nighttime
Moonlight Magic.
Moonlight Magic at Epcot.
That's why we wanted to stay at the Riviera.
Yeah, to have the
They
skylight.
called us the day we were supposed to check in and like, we don't have any rooms available at the Riviera. What can we do for you? And then they're like, okay, well, we'll give you this room at the Contemporary. Will that be all right? And we're like, yeah, okay, fine. We'll deal with that. We can take the monorail over. That's great. That'll be just fine. We get there and we're trying to get into the elevator, and it wouldn't work for us. We couldn't go to where we wanted to go. And so we went up to the front desk and we asked, they're like, oh, well, we need to walk you over to this. Walked us over to the elevator, escorted us up to the top floor where they have these insane suites with club level. And so that was just for one night because we were just there for that one night. I want to stay there for at least a week, if not more, in that with this insane club. We were supposed to meet Justin Monorail at Moonlight Magic that day. Mm-hmm. We did. We were like, okay, we'll go meet him because they wanted to get into the party. He and his girlfriend. We met them, hung out with them for about an hour. And we're like, you got to understand, we will never get this suite again in our life. So we're going to give you everything that we got for this party, and we're going to go back and hang out in that suite. So I want to do that suite with Victoria and Albert's, chef's table in the kitchen as well, and do all that up again, because that was like, we hit up the club level, all the drinks, all the food, insane view. I mean, we actually have a video on our YouTube. If you want to see what that suite's like, go to our YouTube channel. We had to video it because it's the most amazing.
It's not just a room. It had a sitting room area.
It was a full living room, kitchen, bedroom, giant balcony that was like 3 rooms wide, overlooking Bay Lake. It's insane. It's nuts. It had to be, if you wanted to pay money to stay there, it had to be like $2,500 a night or something. It was crazy. And this was pixie dusted to us. And it's something we'll always remember, but never be able to do again unless that situation arises again.
Yeah. Our room reservation at Riviera that we had booked a long time in advance was a deluxe studio. So it was just a regular hotel room. And then, we were actually stepping out the door. We had packed the car. We were getting ready to go when we got this call. And he said, I thought it wasn't until later I remember he told me, the guy from Disney said, it'll be club level. But not knowing or really thinking about it, but to realize that, it was insane club level.
Plus, I think, didn't we get for that also, like, it was like $100 of credit, Disney credit, and like a lightning lane to whatever we wanted. We picked Rise or something, and it's like, it was like this insane thing that happened.
Yeah, we had dinner reservations to go with Justin and his girlfriend. He says, we'll pay for that dinner.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Just for that, because they didn't have, I think, I'm trying to remember if he explained to us or if we found out later that there had been some, like a flood or something in some of the rooms that ended up getting blocked off, that they couldn't use them. So
that
worked. Yeah.
That sounds pretty epic.
Yeah. That's awesome. Was that your first time staying any kind of club level before, or have you done other ones at Disney?
We have done club level before. Not at Walt Disney. No, we got pixie dusted another club level like a month before that at the Polynesian, again for one night. Same situation, not the same level of room, but we did get pixie dusted that time. It's funny because we told Justin for a while, we're like, you know what? We just need to say that we're meeting you, because that was also a time we were going to meet Justin. We, instead of meeting him at Epcot, invited him over to join us and hang out on the club level when we were there because of that situation.
Yeah. It wasn't quite as elegant or as extensive of a room. It was a regular room, but it was a club level. So that was kind of nice.
And then we had not, we'd stayed at what used to be Paradise Pier out at Disneyland at club level there a couple times. And then recently we did do club level at the Poly again for our anniversary, although it was right after our cruise where I told you Michelle caught a migraine. Afterwards, we both got the flu and it just ruined it. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to enjoy it like we wanted to.
We just stayed in our room. We started realizing after a while that we may be carrying some. We didn't know at the time. We didn't want to
spread it. So.
It wasn't until we got home and went to urgent care that we found out we actually did have the flu. So we just stayed in our room.
As a matter of fact, we had another club level stay immediately after that was booked to stay at club level at Animal Kingdom Lodge that we had to just flat out cancel. We're like, there's no point to it because, we can't go out because we don't want to spread anything. We're feeling miserable. So we just canceled that one. We didn't know before going to the Poly that this was going to be the case, but it all came on like on our first day there. So we're like, wiped it out. But we've done we've done concierge on Disney Cruise. back when it was a little cheaper to do concierge. Now it's pretty crazy to do concierge. We don't
Right.
really do it anymore. The value for it, we
Right.
don't see it there. But we have done concierge on
Mhm.
Disney Cruise.
All right, like 15 questions. What was your favorite club level?
Well, I think the one at the Contemporary was our favorite club level because it was just the room was so amazing. The club level and Contemporary actually has different club level types of rooms or in clubs, so there it's not just one. And this one was the one at the top of their resort, and it was obviously the most elegant and amazing.
Yeah, concierge on Disney Cruise is pretty nice. Especially, it
Yes.
used to be even better. Now they kind of have put it into these lounges, which the lounges are nice and they're fun and they're great and they do take care of you really really well there. But it used to be like because it used to be you had to have a suite level room to have concierge, and they didn't have a lounge, so the concierge would come in and check on you every day, and they would bring you all sorts of stuff and invite you to different things and make sure you're okay. And it was kind of like you had this hands-on care. Now it's like you have to seek them out a little bit more. And again, it's more expensive than it used to be. It's always been expensive, but now it's a little crazy. But it's pretty good there too. Yeah.
Who had the best food?
The concierge.
Yeah.
That concierge
At Contemporary.
or Contemporary, the Contemporary club level was pretty good. And,
Yeah.
excuse me, they would change out through the day. Polly's is pretty good too. They have a really good breakfast there in the morning, and then they have a cocktail hour and they have appetizers out. Then they break out desserts in the evening. You can watch fireworks from in there if you want, although the lights are still on a little bit. You get a little glare. It's not the best place to watch the fireworks, although we've done it. But the food there was, I think we enjoyed the food at the Poly.
True. Yes. Yeah, it comes from their restaurant, so.
Oh, well.
I know, right?
Who could say no to everything at the Poly?
Right.
Agreed.
Oh, that's awesome. I've heard really good things about actually Coronado's club level, Kronos Club. Haven't done it myself, but that's one of the ones that I feel like every time I hear that, I'm like, oh, really? That's interesting. But yeah, it takes notes. Contemporary club level. Noted.
I think there's 2 club levels at the Contemporary. This is like there's like a more, I hate to say baseline because that sounds like it's basic. I'm sure it's not. But this was like an elevated club level that is insane.
Yeah. This one was only for the rooms that were on the top floor and that were huge rooms. They have one, I think it's a level down, and they have, I think, some regular standard rooms as well as suites. And they also have the garden for their garden tower or garden building, a club level there as well. So
interesting. I thought you were going to say that there was one in Bay Lake Tower and one in the main building.
No, unless you consider Top of the World Lounge a club. There's no real club level in Bay Lake Tower though. But
the 3-bedroom rooms at Bay Lake Tower, that would be pretty nice to stay.
Yeah, that'd be a good stay.
That's split level. You have floor to ceiling windows and a pool table in there. I mean, it's like giant.
During COVID, we had a lot. We're DVC members. We had a lot of DVC points that we were not able to use. So we had some stockpiled that we did need to use. We did splurge at one point and stayed a couple nights at those Wilderness Lodge cabins, for 2 nights.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the parks. We're just going to stay here in the cabins and enjoy it. And they're amazing.
Yeah.
We have toured the bungalows. We've stayed at the cabins. We like the cabins more than what we saw from the bungalows at Poly, even though we love the Poly very much.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
That's me like peering in from outside, but I have heard that between the cabins and the bungalows. I've actually heard that the treehouse villas at Saratoga are like a sleeper hit. But also
I heard
there's
that too. You stayed there one time, didn't you?
Yeah, before they were actual tree house. Yeah. And that was fun with another another couple, and it was fun.
We have looked into that, and we may do that sometime when our family comes out and visits, because we've talked about doing that at some point.
Looking at the point charts, I feel like it's not as bad as it could be for the treehouse villas when you compare to like a normal 2-bedroom.
Right.
But This is something else that has piqued Mr. Natalie's interest
Nice.
recently of like, wow, that looks really, really cool. Like, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know
Jump
what
on
piques
that.
your interest. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
He's like, not just for the two of us. We'd need other people to justify that. But,
Good thing you know other Disney fans.
exactly. Exactly.
We can talk to him if you need us to.
Yeah,
Any-
yeah.
Anytime we're available.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Slowly getting him like toesies into like the DVC world. I've been explaining a little bit more about that to him.
Mhm.
But we'll get him there eventually. Last time I did the DVC tour, it was I was like, I feel like I have the tools to be convinced. You need to help me convince Mr. Natalie, who's not here.
Mhm.
So what am I taking home to him to convince him?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this is a different conversation than we thought we were going to have. But because she's like, yeah, I don't have to explain like bank bar. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. We
Yeah.
need to get this to the point where I can explain it better.
Right.
But because where do you guys own for DVC?
Well, we have the Poly, Riviera, a little bit at Copper Creek, and
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Yeah, we wanted to get after we moving. We originally bought when we lived in California, thinking we needed points to go visit extended periods at Walt Disney World. Now that we live in Florida, we're using more in smaller portions. But now we need a base for when we go visit the West Coast for Disneyland. That's why we got those Disneyland points.
Have you been out to stay at the Disneyland Tower since it opened? Okay, I wasn't
We
sure.
did for the last, not this last Disneyland race week, but when they first came back, when
Yeah.
the Disneyland races first came back, we stayed there for that.
Okay, I wasn't sure because I wasn't sure if they were open yet. Because now, when you even said that the Once Upon a Studio was 2 years ago, I'm like, no, it could. Yes, it
I know,
was
right?
because the 100 year was in 23. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
time passing is crazy.
Yeah.
It is
Crazy.
insane.
Oh, I love that. Okay, what is your favorite Disney park?
I would have to say Disney California Adventure Park. It has all like the vibes that you know and love at Epcot, but then it also has Cars Land, Avengers Campus. I mean, come on, it's amazing. So I think it's great that it has those, the same cool vibes. It has, if you're thinking trying some cocktails along with some great snacks or good food or whatever, they have that as well. So it just seems like it has all of it in a nice package.
And World of Color.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say no to World of Color? I feel
Right.
like DCA is an underrated park.
It is.
Said
Absolutely.
this. That is my soapbox. It is so underrated.
Right.
I love DCA, and I'm so excited to be back there.
It's that nice cross between kind of like it's got the vibe of the studios and Epcot kind of meshed up into one thing. It's got you've got the fun attractions, but you also have some of those vibes where you can just walk around and enjoy some of what goes on in the spaces there or whatever. I do love DC. I love all the Disney parks, but my old school for me, I'm an OG Disneyland person. I grew up going to Disneyland Park. Still my favorite to this day. And it's still the only park where Walt actually walked around, stayed the night, rode on a lot of the attractions. I love Walt, and it's just home for me. So I'm always going to default to Disneyland. But there again, I love different aspects of every single Disney park we've been to.
For sure.
Have you done the apartment tour at Disneyland? I don't think they're offering it when I'm there. I think it's something different right now, but that's something that's on my list. I need.
Yeah, I don't know why I've for a while now I've heard that they're not using that as part of the tour.
I think maybe because they took some of the furniture that was up there and they have it on display, I think now in the Opera House. So I wonder if not everything is up there right now. So they're going to wait until that. I'm not sure if that's the case. But I was noticing when we saw some of the photos from the things they're displaying there, some of the things are pieces from that apartment. So I wonder if that's the case.
Talk about a fun experience when we took the tour that let us go up there. I got to ring the doorbell.
She was the first one up there, so they're like, okay, you get to ring the doorbell.
I know. It was like, again, surreal moment.
That is awesome.
So fun. So fun.
That's so bucket list. Oh, whew. Guess I got to go back when they're doing that again.
I know. Right?
Shocked you can find a reason to come back.
Doesn't take much of an excuse, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, never. Favorite Disney snack?
I'll let you go first. On that
Oh,
one.
me.
While I think
Favorite
about
Disney
it.
snack. Not much of a snacker when I'm at Disney, really. I mean, we usually get meals more than snacks, unless you count like, festival food as snacks. We
I'll allow it.
love the festival food. Well, then my favorite festival food has to be that, and it's coming up here again, that darn French fry flight that they have at the fry basket, where it's the combination of, they have like a garlic fry, what is it? A garlic fry, a cheese fry,
Parmesan.
and a sweet potato fry. And they just blend together really, really well. I do like French fries a lot, but man, when I first tried this, it was nuts. Oh, the other thing is it the Festival of the Arts that has those the same booth, those darn cinnamon bites that are insanely good. I'm not even a sweet person for whatever, but this
You're very
cinnamon
sweet,
it is like, it's heaven. It's heaven. I guess those things. So those would be my favorite snacks.
I don't know if this is a snack because we usually eat it as a meal, but over at the Poly, actually at their Oasis pool, they have a grilled fish taco, which pairs perfectly with the Voyager cocktail. So you get a little bit of the, what is it, Dole Whip with some rum and blue curacao.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Nice refreshing drink with a really good meal.
Yeah, the tacos.
And sitting by in the Poly next to the Oasis pool, it really can't get much better than that.
No, it can't. That is like perfect. When I am working remotely around Disney, am I often found with Captain Cook's pulled pork nachos outside the pool because I'm not staying there with my little laptop? Snack. I'm like, I could be in my cubicle right now, but I'm not.
Right.
Truth be told, that's often what we combo with it. Like one of us will go to Captain Cook's and get those pulled pork nachos, and the other one's getting the fish tacos and the drinks, and then we meet up and enjoy both together. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Favorite nighttime spectacular to end it off.
Well, you brought up World of Color. That's pretty special. That is pretty special. Although, Wishes is great.
Wishes?
Not Wishes.
I was going to say, I was surprised that you would name Wishes.
Happily Ever After.
Jen Dilla was very happy.
I
know.
I keep, she and I are twinsies, so I just keep channeling her.
But she's very disappointed that you've no, not that.
I know.
It's Happily Ever After.
I know.
That's mine too. I both what she's mentioning. Love World of Color. I haven't seen the new one yet. Looking forward to seeing the new one when we get out there in January. But Happily Ever After just hits all the notes for me personally. And it doesn't hurt. We have so many weird stories to tell.
I know.
The first time we saw Happily Ever After was like 2 or 3 nights after it debuted. We happened to be visiting Walt Disney World. We did a dessert package to go see it because Michelle's vertically challenged. We wanted to not have to line up out there or have her get somebody with a child on her head in front of her that she can't see anything. So we did that, went out, checked it out. We noticed that there were some cameras around. We're like, okay, well, it's debuting Happily Ever After. It's only been going on for a few days. They're probably, doing some B-roll or everything, getting stuff ready for newscasts or whatever. So they finish up Happily Ever After. Tears are streaming from my face as Tinkerbell flies once again, of course. And then they're like, oh, and by the way, here's Jordan Fisher and Angie Kielhauer to sing Happily Ever After. So since that, it's kind of like, okay, it's default. That is definitely our favorite of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, they were right there on the stage at the castle. Timing.
What a lore drop.
No, we had no idea. It just happened.
We're gonna have to go with them sometime because, like,
and Justin, because Justin is the key to a lot of these things.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Too stunned to speak at the moment.
Memorable.
Why do you think we were when it happened?
Yeah.
It was like, what did we just see? What is going on here?
like that again, body, like full body chills right now. Like, man, I don't know what other way to cap it off. Because I was going to ask if you're more of a Walt Disney World or Disneyland Fantasmic people, which I still do want to know the answer to. But, whew, wow.
I can answer that. I'll say for me personally, it used to be Disneyland. I love Disneyland's version, especially after they updated it more. But recently we did Fantasmic at Walt Disney World. One, the seating is better, but also since they updated the show, I love the new version where they've added the extra spots within that show. It probably is a bit better at studios right now, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the atmosphere over at Disneyland is a little bit more unique. It's kind of more, I don't know what.
Well, you're on the actual Rivers of America there, and it actually they're using
it's intimate.
Mark Twain.
Right. Intimate. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good term. Yeah. But yeah, the show itself. Yeah. Disney World.
I was a Disneyland is better for Fantasmic truther until they updated Walt Disney World's show. And now I'm like, boom, that's my Fantasmic.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was as well.
Yeah, I absolutely love how they've updated and revitalized the show. It's just beautiful. And I'm like, when the first time I saw it again was right after I ran my first marathon with Dopey. And I had kept myself spoiler free, nothing like a full lockdown on that. And even just the way I could tell they had updated costumes, the lighting, I'm like, they put the TLC into this that I needed. And then because my costumes were all themed after the Mickeys and Fantasmic in order as their final appearances, I should say. And I wept. I wept. But that's such a special moment. And but I am definitely on team. Well, okay, I might be there's a remote chance I change my mind again, how now being able to see Disneyland Fantasmic again, but I mean, I guess I just have to keep watching them, right? Because I have to a fully formed
More
opinion.
Excuses.
Although
They're both great.
It's gonna be hard because it'll be my opportunity to see Paint the Night. So,
have you seen Paint the Night before?
No, and I'm spoiler free on that too.
Paint the Night's amazing.
It is.
Oh, I'm so excited, or already there. I don't know, depending on when this comes out. But thank you guys so much for joining us. This was so much fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah,
this is very exciting. And I think we're going to carry this conversation over maybe on our show in the future. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Tell all the people how to find you.
Well, the best place to find us is on our own website, HyperionAdventuresPodcast.com, but we are on all your podcatchers out there. You can find us pretty much everywhere. We are on social media. We're on hashtag always Twitter and Blue Sky at Hyperion Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. If you aren't Facebook, come on over. We have a Facebook group, just having some good positive Disney energy fun on there. At Hyperion Adventures Podcast. We also have a YouTube channel. We do a morning show virtually every single morning where we just try and get your day started with some positivity. We're on YouTube at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. And if you ever want to reach out to us, hit us up on our Gmail account, HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com.
Love it. Frozen shirt was intentional because...
Hashtag real men love Frozen, as we all know.
Right. Nice.
I'm just in awe of how you rattled all that off.
We
still read it from a script every week.
74 episodes so far of doing that. It used to be, we've cut it back. It used to be 2 times an episode. We would do it at the front of the episode and the end of the episode recently. We go long enough. I don't need to say it on both ends. So it's kind of been like I just hit a switch and it just goes. I don't even think about it anymore.
It's funny because as you were saying it too, I'm like, I'm hearing it. I'm like, oh, this is what comes next, and this is what comes next. And this is what
right.
That's pretty much it.
You know how many times I've sung LANDOZ, please go follow me?
Oh, yeah.
I can't hear the Mickey Mouse March without hearing Landon's theme song, to be honest with you.
If you enjoy listening to our show, Please leave us a review and a 5-star rating. We love reading your reviews out loud, and you might even be featured on a future podcast episode. We have a community spotlight on our Instagram at Stride Sisters Podcast. If you want to be featured for a Medal Monday, Finish Line Friday, or any accomplishment you want to celebrate, send us a picture via our social media platforms or our email. And to continue the fun, join us on our Facebook page. All the ways to connect with us can be found in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time. Nice.
Boom, one take wonders.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to sit through us attempting our intros or any of the other stuff, so